So apparently this game has been out for like a couple of years, and I just recently had a supporter of mine in my Discord shout it out and showed a couple of screenshots, and I thought it looked like a really, really cool game. And of course, being a map game with historical context, or the ability to add historical context, I was able to find a 1444 map because all map nerds love 1444 because all map nerds love EU4. At least that's my understanding of it. The map is actually much bigger than you might think it is. You can see if we zoom in here, you can see the borders are pixels, and the pixels indicate generally how much land they have, with nations like England having a bit. But look over here in Ireland, man, we've got like 8, 12, 15 different tags. I think you could argue that this is a more detailed map than EU4. Actually, I know for a fact you can. There's 553 nations shown on this map, and it's pretty nutty. Largest nation by size is Novgorod, followed by the Ottomans, Sweden, apparently, the Great Horde, Kazan, and Lithuania, Castile, Norway, and so on and so forth. Not super surprising, but there's also an income map, so you can see the richest nations with Lithuania, England, France, maybe, the Ottomans, Hungary, Poland. They're all doing pretty good, and we'll see how things go with that. Alongside income, there's also an alliance map, so you can see the Kalmar Union. There's a puppet map, so you can see France and all of their subjects, Poland and theirs, Bohemia and theirs, so on and so forth. There's also terrain, which is pretty cool. There's also a wars map. We'll probably be looking at this, I'm sure. There's actually more information you can put on there if you want, including icons for various things, but we're turning off some of this stuff to make it so we can actually see a little bit of what's going on. Probably going to start off slow on speed 2 until things start to get a little more organized, but let's check it out. What do you guys say? We can unpause and see how things are going. You can see wars are popping off very, very quickly. Tubretsk declared war on Lithuania and was conquered by Lithuania instantly. Okay. Belozero over here conquering land from Novgorod, and it looks like Novgorod is going to be willing to sue for peace here before too long. Brandenburg going to war with Silesia, so that would be pretty cool to see a strong Prussia. Oh my goodness, it's pure chaos. It's just war, 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 war. Zooming out, you can just see all these nations are going to war, and the numbers are going down very, very, very quickly. Oh my goodness, this was a mistake. This was such a mistake. Shout out the Cossacks conquering Lithuania. That's pretty funny. I like that. Oh, and they're getting pushed back. So it looks like Lithuania decided to actually mount a defense at some point. France seems to have been conquered by a bunch of people. So yeah, they're looking really sad. That's pretty crazy. And it looks like Burgundy snaked them, as well as Navarra, who's got subjects. Maybe they stole some from them, actually. That would make sense. I don't really know how sophisticated the Diplo stuff in this game is, but it's definitely going. The Cossacks are pushing back the Lithuanians, and it looks like Plock over here is fighting with Poland. Oh my gosh, what is these borders? Smolensk is literally like fly swatter, flanked by Minsk and Trubetsk. Oh gosh, Lithuania, the mighty have fallen. The mighty have definitely fallen, especially at the hands of the Cossacks, which is very, very funny. And it looks like Poland is about to lose their war, which is interesting. England has lost all of their mainland European colonies. North Africa's got a bit of fighting going on over here as well. We're down to 490 tags in 485, very short order. You can see the date down here, 1470. So we're like 35 years in, and it is already moving very quickly. France and Germany, as expected, are complete Thunderdomes. Like how do you even keep track of this? You unpause and it's just instant chaos. Poland lost Plock over here, which is definitely something I was not expecting. It looks like Crimea is maybe conquering some land over here. Ottomans surprisingly very chill, as is most of the guys over here over in the north. You can see the Kalmar Union still intact. Muscovy allied to the Great Horde, and it's seemingly like a diplomatic thing. It's not like the yoke of the Horde as you would normally see in real life. Oh, England is back in the fray over into France, and it looks like they're going to finally take the staple port of Calais. Very cool. Meanwhile, Aragon fighting it out, civil war for Valencia and the heartland of Aragon, where Catalonia is independent by the looks of it. Oh, and Birmingham has broken free, or Birmingham has broken free and is an independent nation on the island of Great Britain. And I spoke too soon. Aragon has been conquered, but split between Catalonia and Valencia. So there you go. A little over 40 years in, Novgorod is still number 1. Ottomans are still number 2. I think they were number 2, or maybe Sweden was number 2 before. The numbers are not actually super crazy up in the top. You can see economy, Ottomans are taken off. Meanwhile, These guys were green before, and now they are very much not green. And same with the Great Horde, one of the poorest nations in the game, rather than the richest. The economic pendulum swinging for these nations, it seems. It also looks like the war that's been ravaging Germany and France is taking quite a toll on the economy over here, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on that. The hordes just going at it over here, just pure pandemonium, man. I don't know what some of these things are, like these little comets that are flying. I don't know what that is. I assume it's like a diplomat or something along those lines. You can see the swords mean that there's war being declared. The diplomacy means that nations are being, or the shields rather, means that nations are being allied. Then of course the skulls, which means that they're dead. They're kaput. We're now sub 400 nations on the map, which I think we were at like 550 when we started. Obviously, most of the consolidation is going to be in an area like Germany or France, where there was already a lot of nations in the start. But we also have quite a few extra nations over here, or maybe not newer, but bigger than they were before. Looks like Ruthenia conquered a little bit of land from Smolensk. So things are moving around a little bit here and there, but you know, it's still quite steady with the Ottomans, Novgorod, and Sweden up in the top 3, as well as the Great Horde. And we're almost 100 years in, so we're seeing quite a bit of changes over time. Oh my goodness, so Bohemia just conquered Hungary with Moldavia. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And it looks like Austria is just gone. I don't know if they never ever were there or not, but Styria is the main boy over here. Meanwhile, the Ottomans are conquering up finally some land from Karaman, though looks like they're actually not getting a whole lot of land, just a bit, maybe puppeting them. So there you go. Surprised to see that Byzantium's still in control of Constantinople and like a couple of islands over here. Again, 100 years past 1444 and almost 100 years past the historic falling date of 1453, the worst year of our Lord. And clicking around, you can actually see how many wars each nation has had. The Ottomans have been involved in 4 wars, Bohemia 8, with 1 ongoing against Moravia, Castile with a measly 2, Muscovy with 6, but take a look at Lithuania, 13 wars. England, 11 wars. France, 19 wars. Safe to say these guys are they're duking it out. There's lots of fighting going on. There's also a lot of nations with 0 wars over here in Germany. I guess they're just pretty stable, you know. A whopping 0 for Sweden, Norway, Denmark. Nobody wants to mess with them. Oh, it does look like Denmark has 1 war, 1 single war. Also, apparently, this combat efficiency, this is a random stat that is modified every year. I think it is every few years. And it basically just affects how strong they are as a nation. I guess you could consider it kind of like a military readiness. And based on whatever circumstances, they can be good or bad. Like Scotland here is ready for war. But so is England. So Scotland is not going to be messing with them. Brittany here, not so ready for war. But France, very much not ready for war. They could get ganked and they'll probably lose. So it's a cool way to add a little bit of extra stuff, extra oomph, you know? But yeah, Moravia over here beating up on Bohemia, which is pretty funny to see. And there you go. Bohemia has completely collapsed. They are now in a civil war with Budapest, Slavonia, and Klodsko, and what is this one over here? Cheb. So yeah, Bohemia, once a great power, now not so much a great power. Hello, hello. What is going on over here? Granada, broken free. Oh, no way. Granada's broken free. That's kind of cool, actually. So yeah, that extra combat efficiency made it so Granada was able to yoink about 200 some pixels from Castile. So that's awesome. I'm picking up on things, you know, like Catalonia here, if they have this like kind of bolded color around their border, it means they're at war, and they are at war with Bordeaux. And it looks like they're probably just going to go back and forth for a little bit, though we'll see who's on top here. Both nations have decent combat efficiency, but nothing any super interesting. And there you go. They get their truce and they take a couple of pixels from them. Funny to see Moria and Byzantium still just chilling. Nice flag for Byzantium, you know. Some of the flags are historical, or at least, you know, they have flags, though it looks like most of them are just kind of colors. Some of them are randomly generated. I like that. Their alliance network is called the Order of the Teutonic Order. So there you go. Oh my gosh, the Cossacks have invaded the Great Horde. They pushed them, pushing them back, but they were just taking crazy losses there. Oh, this front line is crazy. That is so cool. And they just vassalized them, or do they just have similar colors? Oh yeah, their combat efficiency must have dropped and they just absolutely took it on the chin. That's so cool, actually. I really am a big fan of that. It's like Poland is losing some land to Budapest. RIP. The front lines are really interesting and like satisfying to watch. I will say that. Lithuania has vassalized Ruthenia. while keeping an alliance with the Teutons and Plock here. So it looks like they joined the Order of the Teutonic Order, and they've got a subject of Ruthenia over here. So they're migrating out of Poland and into, you know, Ruthenia. But regardless, we're past 1600. We would be in absolutism here in EU4, and the map is still very fractured. So I'm actually quite a fan of that. Obviously, the nations have gone from like, I think it was like 540 something, 541 in the beginning. So we're clearly consolidating a lot of the borders, but even now, the largest nation is still Novgorod, just because they're so undisturbed over here. And a lot of that I think you can kind of chalk up to the projection being used as well. But the Great Horde and the Ottomans, still the top three. Sweden, no guy over there off the edge of the map here. That's kind of an interesting one. Oh no, they're right here. Who's this blue guy? That's the Caspian. I'm a dum-dum. I swear I know the map. I promise I do. Ooh, and we've got a Great Moravia popping out over here, pushing up north into Brandenburg, and it looks like they're starting to annex some more lands over here. Again, just pure chaos going on, though the Ottomans are certainly starting to take off, getting quite a bit of land over here in Anatolia, losing a bit of land over here right now. The Balkan Wars are upon us. So yeah, they're annexing Moldavia. It's just like there's a lot of back and forth in this game. That's definitely what I'm seeing. Ooh, Castile just annexed Aragon. I think it's only fitting that we rename them. They can now be Spain. There you go, right? I don't think that formable nations is a thing in this game. So we'll name them ourselves, yeah? Great Moravia grows greater yet, but how about Luxembourg? We've got Uber Luxembourg. Big fan of that. Oh, England's got a civil war going on. They are losing. There's no way they come out on top of that. That's insane. Oh, Isle of Man. The Isle of Man. They've got over into Northumbria. I love that a lot, actually. Also, just a huge shout out, Byzantium still holding on. The Order of Constantinople allied to Allier over here. That's what's holding it together. It's this alliance network, right? 1717, the city of world's desire, still within the hands of the Roman Empire. Very cool. Only 2 wars, apparently. I don't really know what that's all about, but it's going. Oh my gosh. So the Ottomans just decided to choose violence. They like full annexed Poland, and now they're just going to back in toe to toe with Lithuania, and Poland popped out. Oh my gosh, what is going on with this? So how does this work? Is this uncored land? Is that how this works? The hashes mean that it's uncored. And okay, they're having releasable nations pop out. This is really interesting. We now have the Ottomans well out in first place. That's not really a surprise. Novgorod's still holding on there. Though it looks like they've maybe migrated up a bit with Muscovy and this Holinov pushing them out. Even Lithuania migrating a bit more out of this way. Very funny to see Poland exclusively outside of Poland for the most part. I don't really know how far the border goes over, but I mean, I imagine that this is kind of like the easternmost border of Poland, yeah? Still a huge fan of Greater Moravia and Greater Luxembourg, and very much a huge fan as an American of this, whatever's going on here. Ooh, and Spain has fallen with Pamplona, Aragon, Barcelona, and Valencia all breaking free from them. So Spain has definitely seen better days. They've got a truce with all of them, but I'm sure they're going to be wanting that land back. Also, still just so funny to see how messy France is. France is like just as messy as Germany, dude. They just can't get their stuff together. Also, this land is unclaimed. I don't know if it was unclaimed before as well, or if that has changed. Not sure about that one. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Lithuania just annexed the Teutons and then immediately had a giant uprising from the Teutonic land that was just conquered. And all of these nations are shaped incredibly funny. Like I don't understand. I think that's just kind of like the way that the algorithm works for determining who gets what, but this is so disgusting. We're up to 1800, still 220 some nations left. We'll see how things go in the long term, but it keeps on. We're seeing like this pattern where a big nation annexes a smaller nation, but then like 5 smaller nations break out of that recently conquered territory of the small nation that was just conquered by the big nation. So we're seeing a lot of that, like a lot. It just kind of goes down and then up, down, and then up, down, and then up. And that's happening over and over again. Into 1900, and we are seeing a bit of consolidation in Spain with Morocco annexing Granada. Meanwhile, the Ottomans have pushed over into Naples, annexing Naples with this Barat over here, seemingly hanging out here. They've broken away and they're just chilling down in, you know, Greece and Apulia or whatever this region is called. Meanwhile, Lithuania, Königsberg, and Great Horde, with their names overlapping, are the major powers over here in the east, with Novgorod and this Holinov doing okay. Kalmar Union still going strong. almost 400 years later, so you got to respect that. They even brought Altmark into the fold, so shout out that. 13 wars, and they are still kicking. You love to see it, man. But what I really love to see is man over here just thriving with this Arkenfield or Urchinfield down here in the south with their capital of London. I don't think England exists anymore. France is still pretty messy, though. We've got Munster, we've got whoever this guy is, Mulhouse, doing okay. And then Bavaria Munich is actually thriving over here in Bavaria. Moravia is still going strong, though they've got a pretty big border with the Ottomans and a small border with Lithuania, so they're gonna have to keep an eye on it. And it looks like they're at war with this Göttingen, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on them as well. 157 nations left. I think we're just gonna have to keep going until it basically sorts itself out, yeah? Oh, and you love to see it. Byzantium has conquered the Ottomans, taking a ton of land in Greece, Thrace, Bulgaria, even crossing over into Anatolia, maintaining their alliance with this Aliya guy, the Byzantium Commonwealth, which is pretty cool. And we also see Bavaria Munich dominating over here in Germany, very much the strongest power in the nation. 177 nations left. It is definitely down to the wire, at least compared to when we started. And we are now past the modern day into the 2030s. Byzantium has grown a bit, but they're actually looking kind of sad. Funny to see the Ottoman Empire apparently popped out of the Great Horde just a couple of years ago, is a subject of Byzantium. I'm a big fan of all this. 87 wars is crazy. Meanwhile, Lithuania, Königsberg, Oselvik is doing well, right next to Moravia, and Bavaria, Munich, Abensberg, Kempten. The names are getting a little outrageous. I may have to fix some of those. Much better. The one thing I'm very happy to see, Pope Man over here, pulling it out. Battle Pope with the red flag, going strong. 10 wars, and they've eaten 5 nations. So that's pretty solid. And so Lithuania pushes into Moravia, taking a decent chunk of their land, and it looks like they are winning this war, with Bavaria recently conquering quite a bit of land in northern France, with southern France going almost exclusively to Spain and their subjects. Also, shout out Corsica, taking over Sardinia, North Africa, as well as Provence, and even land over here in Pisa. Love to see that. Byzantium has had a comeback, though Adrianopolis is still free. The rest of it is all Byzantium, looking like a pretty good EU4 run. But how about that AQ Dokadir Bitless? Very good. Somehow Sweden ended up conquering Norway and a portion of Denmark, with Copenhagen, an independent nation, popped out of Lithuania a little over 120 years ago. These wars, they're going to be pretty do or die as we get closer to the end here, with almost 100 nations left. Oh, and Byzantium has fallen under a PU with Lithuania. That is so funny. I am a big fan of that. We have some serious real deal power blocks set up over here, though. The Great Horde looks to be on their way out. Byzantium losing a bit of land over here to their old friends, the Ottomans. And we're definitely seeing it. It's happening. We're under 100, and the nations seem to be really sorting out their borders. Hopefully we're going to be seeing some final death wars. I don't know if the AI will actually death war in this game. If not, we can make it do it. I'm pretty sure, at least. And so in the 2200s, Lithuania is very much the main man on top with 33,000 pixels, with Sweden at 8,300, AQ at 7,000, Spain at almost 7,000, Great Horde still kicking at 5,400, and Moravia at 29. We then have the unclaimed Sahara rounding out the top few. Bavaria is very rich, as is Lithuania. Not really any super impressive numbers there, at least not that I'm aware of. But it looks like this alliance over here with the Lithuanians and the Great Horde, you've got to be kidding me. They're allied? Lithuania allied the Great Horde. That's insane. Almost as insane as Morocco allying Spain. That's pretty funny. We've turned on winner takes all mode, and we've also turned off revolts, and things seem to be moving quite a bit smoother here in the almost 1400s, with probably my favorite thing is man conquering the entirety of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, France, and the Low Countries, as well as pushing over into central Germany. We are seeing quite a bit of big wars going on here with 43 nations left, and it is only a matter of time before those really start to whittle down, and those numbers get all the way down to 1 or 2, and then we're going to have a couple of big death wars. The Lithuania Ryzon's got a ring to it for sure. Moravia has been cut, though they still have Constantinople and Anatolia, apparently. And I cannot believe we're looking to see the Empire of Man come out on top. I never would have thought that. Oh, and Lithuania has annexed Sweden. So Lithuania rise on Sweden is very scary, and they've now vassalized the Pope. I've seen it all, lads. Oh, and that is Moravia vassalized by Lithuania. And looks like the Pope man is going to war with Spain. We'll see how things go with that over there. That's a pretty small front line over here in the Alpine Mountains. Bavaria vassalized by Man and now integrated with Man annexing the rest of the lands over here. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Man and Lithuania are at war now. They're going back and forth, back and forth. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. And Man has broken through. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh, and they're at war again, and it seems like Man is just sweeping through Lithuania. Oh my gosh, the red tide is underway. Oh, and they've broken through. Oh, this is disgusting, and I love it. The Pope man has annexed lots of lands in Greece, and we've got another war with Man marching through Lithuanian lands. Oh my gosh, I think we may have our winner. Oh, no, no, no. They just keep going to war with them so quickly, too. Their truces are only lasting like 15 seconds. They annexed them and made them a subject. That is so, so sexy. I love that. 12 nations left, but it looks like Man is coming out on top. I don't know how that works, if like larger nations get larger armies. Actually, I don't really know much about this game at all, but I like it. I like it. If you guys have any suggestions for mods or for scenarios that you're aware of, please let me know about them in the comments, because I am 100% willing to take more of a look at things like this, because this is it. I live for stuff like this. The Empire of Man conquering the entirety of Europe. And Spain was just vassalized by Man as well. Annexed Portugal, annexing Morocco, and Aleppo is also now a subject of Man. Oh my gosh, Man is going to war with the Pope man with their subjects of Spain and Aleppo. It actually looks like the Pope man is pushing back in some spots, but not this time. It looks like we may have our winner. Finally, the Pope man becoming a vassal of Man. And I think that we've got our final winner, lads. The Man Zakataraxen Bernberg Empire, apparently. Apparently we have the Imperial Knights up here. They're allied to them. They've been involved in 22 wars, but for some reason the Imperial Knights are one pixel up there, and the beautiful Empire of Man controls the rest. So yeah, Ages of Conflict is super dope. If you guys want to see more, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos, and I appreciate you making it all the way to the end. I'll see you in the next one.